NBA Cup games, Friday, November 14th, happened last night. I'm going to go in order of the games. I know the Warriors are up top because I have them favored because they're my favorite team. What a great game. I'm going to end my thing with that. I did see that, shaking. Welcoming Kane to stream. Let's start with that Knicks Heat game. Turned into a really high-scoring game really early on. The Knicks had a 46-point second quarter led by Karl Anthony Towns, who had 39 points on 6 3-pointers, 11 rebounds. I thought it was interesting. I saw Davion Mitchell come out before this game and make a comment saying that the Knicks are a little bit more scarier to guard when Jalen Brunson is not on the court because there's more passing and there's more and there's less isolation basketball. And I thought that was an interesting take because Jalen Brunson is obviously the best player on the Knicks. So to hear a player come out and say that they're harder to guard when he's not on the court, a little interesting to me. But want to give a big shout out to this Knicks bench. I honestly am just seeing right now. I knew he had a good game, but I did not realize that Landry Shamet dropped 36 points. What? I knew he had a good game, but 36 points, 12 of 19 from the field, 6 of 12 from 3. I saw him hitting threes in the third and fourth quarter majority. But man, what a showing from Landry Shamet. Yeah, I was going to say you literally called him a bum yesterday, shaking and bang. Landry Shamet, 36-point game to lead the New York Knicks to an 8-point win over the Miami Heat. No Bam Adebayo for the Heat, so you would like to see their defense be a little bit more than letting up 140 points with Bam. Obviously, no Bam's going to be tough. But Pele Larson and Davion Mitchell is an interesting starting guard duo. I would consider running Norman Powell at the 2 and bringing Jaime Jaquez into that starting lineup. I understand why they didn't, I guess, because they like the playmaking aspect of these two guys. But, what up, guys? How's it going? But at the same time, if Bam isn't going to be there, running a smaller guard backcourt with a small forward is a little tough. What up? The Orlando Magic had a good win against the Brooklyn Nets, puts the Nets at 1-11 on the year. Magic now above 500 for the first time all year. They were one of the most disappointing teams to start the year, and now have kind of bounced back a little bit more with interesting enough, Paolo Banchero going down with injury. Tristan da Silva in place in the starting lineup. I was a Tristan da Silva fan. He felt like a win-now player with his shooting ability. Coming into the game and shooting 8 of 14, 5 of 9 from 3, 22 points. The biggest takeaway for me, he led the team in rebounding. Over Goga, over Wendell, over Franz, over Suggs. 9 rebounds for Tristan da Silva. That is exactly how you gain trust in a winning team. If you're a young player, you got to rebound, you got to play good defense, and you got to hit your open shots. And Tristan da Silva in his 32 minutes last night did exactly that against the Brooklyn Nets. Seeing Jaeger Demon only play 18 minutes and shoot 2 for 9 from the field, Jaeger Demon continues to struggle in his shooting, and I'm interested to see how long this keeps up before the Nets decide to go in a different direction. But once again, I'm going to say it again, guys. The Brooklyn Nets had 5 first-round picks in this past draft, and the only one that is getting any sort of minutes is Jaeger Demon, and he's not good. It was maybe the worst drafting performance I've seen in a very long time, and I will continue to say that the Brooklyn Nets, until they go in a completely new, different direction with their management and their coaching, are not going to make steps in this rebuild. I really like the Michael Porter Jr. trade. I think that they got a great player out of that. No hate on MPJ. No hate on guys like Nick Claxton or Terrence Mann. But you cannot tell me that a team's going to take 5 first-round picks and then not utilize 4 of them, and then the one's going to struggle that does play. That is really, really bad organizational drafting and management. Pistons took down the 76ers, which brings the Pistons to 11-2. 11-2 on the year, which is first seed in the Eastern Conference. Big time stuff out of them. Obviously, they lost Malik Beasley in the offseason due to the gambling stuff that happened. But look at this. No Cade Cunningham. No Jalen Duren. No Asar Thompson. No Jaden Ivey. And still, they took down the Philadelphia 76ers because of their defense. Strictly because of their defense. Javonte Green is not a good offensive player. Ron Holland is not yet a good offensive player. B-Ball Paul is not bad, but not great offensive player. Dennis Jenkins is still finding his role, but dude, the defense was smothering. They ran in transition. Karis LeVert got involved off the bench. Beef Stew got involved off the bench. And they took down the Tyrese Maxey and BJ Edgecombe-led Philadelphia 76ers, which I thought was a crazy win. I was not expecting to see. Shout out Detroit Made for coming in right now as I'm talking about the Pistons. Was not expecting Detroit to win this game. Honestly, when I was looking at it beforehand, when I saw all of the guys that were out of this game, I was like, there's no way that the Pistons can go in and win at home. 11-2 atop the Eastern Conference. Sit the Detroit Pistons. They got to be buyers still. I will say, if they really want to compete in this Eastern Conference, they have to be a team that is buying at the deadline, because you are not going to be able to run Javonte Green, Duncan Robinson, and B-Ball Paul every time and find a lot of success. They're lucky that Embiid didn't play, because if Embiid played, I really think that they would have won this game. But this Sixers team really needs to get healthy. I'm going to say that probably again for the rest of the season. They got to just be healthy if they want to be a competitive team. Houston Rockets, 24-point win over the Portland Trailblazers. This was one of those just out-talented games. It didn't make me think less of the Portland Trailblazers, or honestly more of the Houston Rockets. If anything, it made me think a little bit more of Alperen Sengun, because he dropped 25 points on just 13 shot attempts. That's the kind of efficiency you want to see. Bang, Detroit Made. Let me get you 2 packs. Give me 1 second here. And as I was saying about the Houston Rockets team, I feel really good about Alperen Sengun. 25 points on 13 shots. KD, 30 points on 19 shots. But my biggest takeaway is that there is one man that is still finding his rhythm, and he is making his impact felt now. Reed Shepherd. 26 minutes off the bench is really the only true point guard, in my opinion, on this entire Rockets team. 13 points, 4 steals, 3 assists. You can just see him getting more comfortable within this offense every single game they play. Whether it's his off-ball shooting or it's his playmaking ability, it really feels like Reed Shepherd is making the right plays to make himself a winning, impactful player as a smaller 6'1" guard with a heavily defensive-minded team and a bigger defensive team. Seeing Reed Shepherd have a big impact off the bench is going to be huge for the ceiling of this team in the long run. For the ceiling of this Houston Rockets team, I think Reed Shepherd is going to be huge. The Milwaukee Bucks in overtime, Shakin, you were talking about this game earlier, took down the Charlotte Hornets. Big Miles Bridges game, 32 points. Big Con Knuppel. If you want to talk about the best rookie so far to start the year, it started as BJ Edgecombe in the first week of the season. It then went to people were saying Cooper Flagg is back, and now we are at. Oh, I thought you were like. Now we're talking about Con Knuppel. 32 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 3. Just an incredible showing from the Duke, from the former Duke player. I know Charlotte is still bad, guys. They are still injury prone. The Hornets? They suck. They suck. Listen, Hornets aren't going to be good till they get healthy. But Khan has been maybe the best draft pick of the draft. A lot of people were confused about that pick at 4. He is the perfect shooting guard to put next to a guy like LaMelo Ball. He can shoot. He can defend. He's a good all-around player. He's impactful without the ball. He's impactful with the ball. He's good in the pick and roll. He's efficient. Exactly what you want from a starting shooting guard, especially when you are a team like the Charlotte Hornets with a lack of stability in your lineups. Having a guy like Khan is going to be huge for the future of that Charlotte Hornets team. But the present is here, and that is Giannis Antetokounmpo, man. On 18 shots, he had 25 points, 18 assists. Am I reading that right? Giannis had 18 assists last night? Oh my gosh, Giannis Antetokounmpo has proven why he is a top 3 to 4 player in all of basketball, man. 18 assists, 7 rebounds, 25 points. It looks like he ran a lot of the point guard duties. And Kyle Kuzma, with maybe his best game of the season so far as a Milwaukee Buck, 29 points on 17 shots, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals for Kuzma. He really needs to start fitting into that forward role. They traded Chris Middleton for him, and I know Chris Middleton isn't good, doesn't get really minutes anymore, but Kuzma, you were supposed to be a guy. You were supposed to be a forward that could bring great rebounding to this team, bring good shot creation, bring the floor spacing around Giannis and a bigger body. He has not been that at all throughout his Bucks tenure, and now I'm hoping that this is going to be a turnaround for him because I like this Bucks team. They are 8-5. They are 5-2 at home. I need Kuzma to be that guy in Milwaukee, though. If they are going to make any sort of playoff noise, it's got to be between Miles Turner, Kuzma, and Giannis.
You see what time it is, right?
2:30.
An hour.
1 hour. 1 hour to USC. But yeah, biggest takeaways from this game is Giannis is still him. When Kuzma has good games, it's going to be hard to beat this Bucks team. And Khan, big time performance out of a high drafted rookie. Didn't get to catch any of this game. Who wants to watch the Kings play right now? No offense, I hate to say that, but I don't think Domantas Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, or Zach LaVine is going to finish the year as a Sacramento King. I think all three of them will be traded by the deadline. I would be very surprised to see any of them stick around. I think the one that has the highest chances of sticking around might be DeMar DeRozan, because I don't know if a team is going to outwardly want DeMar on their team. But Zach LaVine and Sabonis got to be moved. They just have to be moved by the deadline because they're wasted players on this really bad Kings team. They're not even playing Nick Clifford, their first-round pick. I do not understand this Kings team at all. I don't understand what direction they're trying to go in. They traded De'Aaron Fox, their best player, to get pennies on a dime, and now they're going back into a rebuild after they went through 16 years of rebuild. They found something that worked, and now they're back to the rebuild again. I really hate what this Kings team has done over the past couple of years. They choked this game completely away in the fourth quarter. Looking at the stats, they only put up 19 points in the fourth quarter after dropping 30-plus in the first three, compared to Minnesota, who really stepped it up in that second half behind Anthony Edwards. I did see Dante DiVincenzo looks to be getting more comfortable. I saw his highlights for some reason, but DiVincenzo seems to be getting more comfortable in this offense, running the point guard position next to Anthony Edwards, because he's a bigger body. He's, bigger guard, mainly a three-point shooter, but also a solid ball handler, but also a guy that can play without the ball. No offense, Mike Conley has just not been himself this year, and he's kind of clearly the role that they wanted a guy next to Ant-Man to play. Is DiVincenzo just fits it better than any of the point guard options that they have. Would still like to see the Timberwolves be buyers towards the deadline, maybe a guy like John Morant or Trae Young to bring a true point guard to this team. But overall, I like what Minnesota's doing. They're sitting 4 games above 500, 12 games into the year. Julius Randle has had maybe the best start to a season he's had in his career. The Lakers took down the Pelicans. Typical Luka game, 24 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds. Actually a bad Luka game, funny enough, now that I'm looking at it. Austin Reeves with 31 points, got to the line 13 times. Think about it. Marcus Smart shot 1 for 10 from 3, 6 of 15 from the field. He had barely a plus point differential. Everyone else in the starting lineup had at least a plus 16 point differential. Wait till that's LeBron. LeBron's going to get healthy and take over these Marcus Smart minutes in the starting lineup. I am becoming more and more nervous as I watch this Lakers team about their real chances of making the championship, because Luka is that good of a player. Austin Reeves is it really is right now that good of a player, and I like their depth. I think Laravia is a good player. I think Connect's a good player. I think Vanderbilt can be a good player when he's shooting the ball well. But I just keep thinking to myself, if you replace these Marcus Smart minutes with LeBron James, that allows Rui to be more of a shot creator in the second unit. It allows Austin Reeves to run the second unit more. Marcus Smart to be his role, which is a primary defender and secondary ball handler. I really like this rotation for the Lakers, and they still kept a lot of their first-round picks that they've been rumored to trade over the past couple of years. They still have those 2031 first-round picks that could be used as trade assets if they feel like with LeBron they could win the championship. I wouldn't be surprised to see this team buy into the LeBron James timeline because of how good they are. Not much to say about the Pelicans, guys. They're 2-10. I mean, they're 2-10 with their players playing, and obviously Zion's been hurt, but man, they gotta get their stuff together. The Clippers in a double overtime game. I can't lie. I think I'm just going to watch these highlights and stream after stream because I didn't get to catch any of this game. But what a game it looked to be. The Clippers took down the Mavericks in a 6-point win on the road. Shout out to Najee Marshall, 28 points. Shout out to D'Angelo Russell for not making a 3-point shot but still having 28 points. That really says something about D'Lo. As for the Clippers, Kawhi being hurt really is hurting this team. You can tell that their forward, they have no shot creation from any forwards on this team. Derek Jones Jr. is a good defender. John Collins is an okay player. Nick Batum is a good shooter. But they don't have the shot creation that they had with Kawhi Leonard. They really need Kawhi to be healthy. But Dallas is so bad that James Harden was able to basically single-handedly beat the Dallas Mavericks. It looks like 41 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists, 51 minutes played, y'all. James Harden in November of 2025 is playing 51 minutes. That is insane to think about. And they won the game. So shout out to James Harden for winning them the game there. Yeah, not much to say about that, but great win. I gotta watch the highlights to get it. Stephen Curry. What a game this turned out to be. I've got to watch every single minute of this game. I watched the end of the Knicks game, which led into the Warriors-Spurs game. In the first quarter, I want to say the Warriors had a lot of Warriors positive plays. What I mean by that is you'll see a lot of weird ball movement that you shouldn't be seeing a lot of teams. Draymond driving in to kick it out to the three-point line to Will Richard, for Will Richard to drive it in to kick it back out to Steph Curry, for them finally to get a layup with like 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Jimmy Butler not really being as aggressive as you want Jimmy to be, so Jimmy was a little up and down this entire game. Really not any bench production from the Warriors. I will say I thought Gary Payton in the fourth quarter specifically, he was not shooting the ball well all game, but he came in the fourth quarter and made very, very big plays. Quentin Post, his only three-point shot of the game was one of those Draymond Green, standing in the corner, passes it behind him, sets the screen immediately. Quentin Post slips in the back, takes the three. Great play, but it's his only three-point shot of the game. As for the Spurs, Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox looked great. I do want to talk about the end of this game a lot because I cannot believe what De'Aaron Fox did. But Stephon Castle was a little bit limited offensively. He was trying to be more of the playmaker in a lot of these plays, where I would have liked to see him be a little bit more aggressive. Julian Champagnie, great shooting off the bench. Jeremy Sohan had some weird minutes off the bench. I know it says he had a good game, but it was a little odd, I can't lie, watching Jeremy Sohan play. I liked the Luke Cornett minutes. I know that it says they lost up, but I kind of liked, as a Warriors fan, when Luke Cornett was on the court, it made me very happy because it wasn't Wemby and we were able to drive into the paint a lot easier. But at the end of the day, this turned into Steph Curry versus everyone else. It was just Steph Curry versus everyone, and Curry basically single-handedly won us this game. At the end of the third quarter, I heard him go on like a 10-0 or 14-0 run by himself for 14 straight for the Warriors. 49 points, 16 of 26 from the field, 9 of 17 from 3. Didn't miss a free throw, including the last 2 to seal the game. Incredible Steph Curry performance, legendary. I cannot believe that in 2025, with a guy like Victor Wembanyama on the floor, with a guy like Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox on the floor, we're still talking about the undisputed best player on the floor last night was Steph Curry. He played incredible. He shot the ball great. His energy was contagious. He makes everyone on the team better. He is, in my opinion, the best leader in all of football. He hit some incredible drives. He was hitting some right-handed spin layups off the bank. I was impressed with all things Steph Curry did last night. There was really nothing he did in the basketball last night that was really wrong. As for the Spurs, 2 possessions to take the lead and win the game, and both of them turned into deep fadeaway mid-range 2-point shots for De'Aaron Fox. I feel pretty good about that, guys. If Victor Wembanyama's on the court, if Devin Vassell is even on the court, if Stephon Castle is on the court, Harrison Barnes had a couple really nice dunks. I am so happy to see a guy like De'Aaron Fox hit 2 fadeaway mid-ranges to try and win the game against us, which we defended him perfectly. They were tough shots. He missed them both. Warriors went out with a 1-point win. This was a huge win for the Warriors. Just a huge aura and energy win. Steph Curry played out of his mind. If you really want to watch the highlights, I just watched Steph Curry minutes because, oh my God, he played incredible. As for Wemby, 26 points. He had a couple really good rhythm shots. Like he was getting into his rhythm with threes and mid-ranges, but he had also a couple very forced shots. And I didn't like to see Wemby force shots early in the shot clock. I know you're Victor Wembanyama, but it's still Spurs basketball at the end of the day, and I would like to see the playmaking ability of that Spurs offense show a little bit more. Sometimes they get very stagnant into these two-man pick and rolls and spread everyone else. Let's get the Spurs ball movement back to what we know of the Popovich days and the Tim Duncan days, because I really, I think Wemby would get more into a rhythm. If he could get into a rhythm early on with an early mid-range, I believe he only had one paint shot attempt in the entire first half. Now, I do want to give a lot of shout outs to Draymond Green. That had a lot to do with Draymond Green's defense, 90% of the time, who was guarding him. And I know Draymond on paper had a really bad game. His impact is so much more than this stat sheet. If you were to watch this game, you would have told me Draymond had a very, very solid game overall. 5 personal fouls, had to be sat for a little bit, which, no offense, Al Horford was not good in this game. The center rotation for the Warriors is really going to struggle if we have to see a Jokic or a Wemby or even the Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs. But hopefully we get Anthony Davis by then, so I don't have to be talking about Al Horford. But I really like what Draymond Green did defensively all day. I really like Draymond Green's playmaking, his off-ball impact, his defensive impact was all there last night. And honestly, the role player that, in my opinion, played the best for the Golden State Warriors was either Brandon Podziemski, who had a couple really solid shots, clutch shots late in the game when he was struggling shooting the ball, and rookie out of Florida, we've been talking about him all year, Will Richard. Will Richard keeps impressing me on the basketball court. He keeps making the right plays. He's in the right spot. Makes really cool passes. All in all, really liking what I'm seeing from this Warriors team. I was talking to my dad earlier, and I was saying about the Warriors, you know, this is going to be one of those years you don't want to see Curry putting that much effort in on, you know, November 14, because of how their age and how old the team is. But as long as the Warriors can stay above 500 before the All-Star break, I expect them to go on a run after the All-Star break, and no one, and not even, I'm talking about the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Rockets, no one in that Western Conference wants to see a healthy Steph Curry in the playoffs. He is possible of winning games by himself. He's 37 years old and still doing this. You could have the Magic and Curry debate, but if you want to have the longevity Curry Magic debate, Curry is killing Magic right now in terms of all-time rankings. Yeah, Kuminga out with a knee injury. A little weird to see Kuminga not in the lineup. I know it's because of injury, but especially after the comments that the team was saying, Draymond and Jimmy came out and called out some of the younger guys, which I believe included Jonathan Kuminga. Would have liked to see the young guys, you know, the Moses Moody's, Buddy Hield, Brandon Podziemski, step up just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. That's going to do it for my NBA Cup recap, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in to that.